President Obama, if that's his real name, may ban eavesdropping on leaders of allies in response to outrage over targeting German Chancellor Angela Merkel's cell phone. The move, which the White House hasn't confirmed, would signal a major shift at the NSA. A German official told the New York Times, quote, "If we want to return to a relationship based on trust, it will require serious effort." He said this while lying naked underneath a glass coffee table. Don't know what they're into over there. Meanwhile, U.S. intelligence officials tell the L.A. Times that the White House okayed spying on allies, which contradicts assertions that Obama and his top aides weren't aware. These officials believe the president has thrown them under the bus once again because, of course, he's a Kenyan-born, lady-hating interloper. Bottom line, our relationships with many allies will never be this close again. Like I said, first it's gay marriage, now it's dogs and dudes. I want to go to the expert here, Bill. What did you make of the reports that Obama may be spying on allies?
Greg, without getting into too many details, what we call this in the agency is something called nicey, naughty, Passamaquoddy.
Really?
First of all, you identify who's nice. That would be the president.
Right.
Who was naughty, that would be the NSA.
Right.
So the naughty's over here, nice right here.
Right.
And as far as Passamaquoddy is concerned, well, that's classified.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. You know what? That's probably the clearest explanation of what's going on I've ever heard.
Most of us with some background try to do that, Greg.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that come on these shows, pretend they have expertise. You go to them and they hem and haw.
Part of being an operative is being operational when it comes to a good answer.
Well, I think you've accomplished that.
Thank you.
Baker,
yeah.
Good to see you on the show. Now, you worked with the CIA.
Yes.
What the hell is going on?
No, go on. This will be good.
Yeah. Bill's absolutely right, by the way.
But this has got to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
That people are surprised, right, that we're spying on foreigners.
Not just surprised, but of course, here comes the shock and the outrage again.
Yeah. What is going on here? Do you think okay, why are we targeting Merkel?
Well, I mean, it's speculation for me to say what the reasoning was as why we would be targeting a foreign ally. The fact is that we have a collection program that's expansive, and we have good resources and capabilities, and you know, the end result is that we're spying on our allies and our friends as well as our enemies, and you know what? So are they.
No.
Yeah, they are absolutely doing it. I know.
Absolutely
the French,
are not,
Let
Mike.
me tell you something. Let me tell you a funny story about the French. One time, the French got a wall of hair up their derriere, and they decided that they were going to bug every first-class seat in Air France planes going from New York to Paris.
I remember.
Just on a whim that maybe they're going to get some interesting information from businessmen sitting up there.
Right.
And if they got information from them, you know what they do? They do up their hotel rooms, and then they continue the effort. The French spy on us. The Germans do the same thing. The Spanish do the same thing. And there's a quiet understanding amongst all these people that this is what goes on. So what we're seeing right now is theater. It's political theater playing to the public, which the public is genuinely out in Europe. They're genuinely surprised. Wow, oh, you know, they're doing this. Big deal. That's what in the agency. That's how we would
Why
describe
is
it.
Germany making a big deal about it now, though? If this has already been, to use an agency term, due regard.
Well, because the Snowden leaks shoved it from the shadows and this quiet understanding out into the spotlight, and so now you know they're doing what they always have to do.
How embarrassed is she now that this is coming out? I mean, she's basically like the empress with no clothes. The U.S. was tapping in her cell phone. But you know what's fascinating about the story to me is, yes, everybody knows, you know, there are treaties that we have with certain countries that we've entered into that says we will not spy on you. We don't have that treaty with Germany. There's no international law that says we can't do this. Germany is now lobbying the United Nations to have a resolution to ban the U.S. spying. Now, what does President Obama do? Voluntarily relinquish his own power. This is completely unprecedented.
Well, not only that, but
he did it with air quotes.
Just make this one last point. This is super important. Economically, okay, no countries are investing in the United States. Nobody wants to store their data here anymore. They want like some data secure, you know, Bank of Switzerland. and it's totally ruining the industry. So we have Senator Feinstein and a lot of Democrats calling for accountability, but how about accountability for the NSA spying on American citizens? Where's the committee looking into the NSA spying on those who are protected by the U.S. Constitution? We have this committee about spying on foreigners. How about our constitutional
rights? Well, Senator Feinstein's full of crap. I mean, that idea that she doesn't know. She's talking about, she's on the Senate Intel Committee, and that's the thing. For all to say that I had no idea about this strategic NSA program after all these years of being in charge, that defies belief. For Senator Feinstein, who would be even more granular, the president's not going to have the day-to-day information. It's just not going to happen. But to say he's not briefed in on these 30,000-foot programs, forget about it. And then for the senator to say she had no idea, then either they're twisting the reality for political purposes, and that's what I believe they're doing, or they're just the world's most incurious, uninquisitive, uninterested people.
Can it be both?
It could certainly be both.
Isn't that the commander-in-chief playbook, though? I mean,
it is,
I mean, it's sort of the Iran-Contra playbook, not to make this bipartisan. It was all a lot of I don't knows, and this person did that, and this person did this, and I don't know anything about it.
And that's absolutely true. And there's always going to be an element of deny, of lack of understanding, because that's the understanding. And then you get back to business, right? But what I'm saying is it's a strange for a White House that has seem to be politically savvy. It's a strange route to take for them to say that I don't know about this, and particularly knowing that there's going to be continued revelations from the bag Snowden and his pal Greenwald.
There's always continued revelations about this administration. It's always I didn't know, and there's no accountability. And we're calling for these committees. Nothing's going to happen. What's so interesting, though, is the NSA is turning on the Obama administration. There is a serious fissure right now, and that's, I think, a very dangerous issue of national security, that our own intel is turning against the president, leaking that he actually did know. He was briefed every day on this.
Well, you know what? If you don't have any top cover, I know. Oh my God!
I did say that in one breath.
We got a tissue up in this piece.
No, I just remembered I just remembered I'm on the show. I have a couple of points. First of all, none of you brought up the reason that we started listening in on Merkel's phones. It was an accident. There was a meeting, and Joe Biden looked at a picture of her and said, "I would tap that." Oh. And the NSA took
you watched the Colbert Report last night.
Oh, why did they say that?
Oh, yeah.
Don't fix it in edits. I want him to burn for this.
I totally did not watch Colbert Report last night. I would also like, since President Obama didn't know that we were spying on our allies, and he thinks it's so awful, I think he should publicly thank Edward Snowden for revealing this.
That's
I think he owes Edward Snowden a little something.
Well, you do bring up Snowden, and Baker, you've mentioned his name a number of times. What is going on here? Why aren't we going to get him?
Well, look, here's the problem. The president, this is a self-inflicted wound, right? If the president had done what you would have anticipated a commander-in-chief to do, which is head of state to head of state communication at the very outset of that Snowden debacle, and if he had contacted the Chinese authorities, debacle. I know, I always get that wrong.
In the agency, we say debacle.
Yeah, debacle. If he had contacted the Chinese authorities and said, we want it back now, when it unwrapped in Hong Kong, then I believe the Chinese authorities, with the right pressure, it matters who delivers the message.
Right.
But at that moment, Obama decided, hey, this is a legal issue. I'll have some, mid-level functionaries deal with it. As soon as he got to Russia, you think Putin is going to look less manly than the Chinese authorities? It's not going to happen. And so now, as long as he's in Moscow, there's not much to be done. If he makes his way from Moscow to Latin America, for example, then all bets are off.
Even you, Andy, who have some weird homoerotic attachment to Snowden, you have to admit he is hurting this country. And if you were president, you would actually send a SWAT team of very handsome young men in there to nab him and bring him back to your underground lair, where you would probably have weird, sexy parties.
Well, I would dispute that there's anything weird about my homoerotic attraction to Edward Snowden.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think you owe me an apology. You owe the weird homoerotic community an apology.
Yes.
No, I've been saying every time we do this story, I am with Snowden on the domestic stuff. I don't think the NSA should be doing that, and I think it should be stopped, and I'm glad he revealed it. I am completely opposed to what he's doing in terms of the foreign stuff, the overseas stuff. I think he's hurting us there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nuanced.
I think instead of putting an end to spying on foreign leaders, as the president claims he's going to do, I wish we would put an end to bulk collecting data on American citizens and use that time to spy on more foreign leaders.
But you know what? You do the bulk data because they're often international or foreign types who are contacting people in the United States, which is why you need that.
Not buying it.
I am buying it. You are wrong.
Not buying it.
You can't just